Hey guys, welcome to Tidbit Tuesday. And this week, I want to talk a little bit about people who have employer-sponsored healthcare and how that could play a part in open enrollment this year. So if you have health insurance that's sponsored by your employer, great. You may have a great plan. You may like your plan. But generally speaking, when you have employer health care, normally employers are only required to pay 50% of the employee premium. So what that means is if you have spouse or kids that also need coverage, your employer is not footing the bill on that, and you bear that full cost. Well, there's a lot of instances where that is just too expensive. People cannot afford to put their whole family on the plan because they're not getting any help with the premium. So there's a couple ways to look at this. First, I always teach people not everyone has to be on the same policy. A lot of people don't actually realize that if you have a spouse and they have employer health care too, each spouse can have their health care through the employer. What happens sometimes is one plan is better than another, so you have to evaluate your needs and decide which plan is best, even though the employer is paying for some of the employee costs, whether it's you or your spouse. If you have different needs and it's not covered under the plan, it may make sense to go on the spouse's plan. But there's also instances where an employee can be on their employer plan and pay their portion, and we put spouse and kids on a private PPO plan. They will not qualify for a subsidy on the marketplace. That's really important to know. If one of you is offered, one of the couple is offered an employer-sponsored, a qualified employer-sponsored plan through your employer, then yes, you could still have marketplace coverage if you want, but I usually don't recommend that because you're going to pay just as much as if you hop on the employer plan and you don't qualify for a subsidy on the marketplace. So that is a drawback, but there are other plans out there, private PPO plans, some short-term plans that actually can go a whole year. They call them short-term plans, but you renew all insurance every year, so it's kind of funny that they call them that. But I'm looking for the people that maybe, as open enrollment is approaching with your employer, majority of companies have a January calendar year start date. So open enrollment can happen in October, November. They generally don't wait till December to do open enrollment because there's things that have to happen on the back end with their broker to make it all happen and be effective for January 1. But I'm looking to help people who have questions about whether or not they have other choices for their spouse and kids if their employer is not helping them cover the cost on those dependents. So you could schedule an appointment with me. Happy to kind of review what else is out there. It will save you money. As long as you qualify, you will save a ton of money, and we just do the evaluation and see what makes sense. So hop on over to my page, Shakeup Consulting, and you can book an appointment with me through there. And until next week, peace out.